Okay, let's talk about classified newspaper ads. Now, we're talking about offline ads. Now, obviously, you can be advertising online with online classified ads, but particularly in this training, I want to talk to you about classified newspaper ads. These are very powerful, underestimated, and most people have really just going to view this as a secret because most people on the internet are not talking about running classified newspaper ads for a couple of reasons. One, they don't have an offer that actually converts. Two, because they're so focused on the internet that they forget one of the most powerful in the history of our time to be able to advertise and market effectively and, more importantly, profitably at home is through classified newspaper ads. Now, why run classified newspaper ads, right? It kind of seems strange. You're an internet marketer, you're becoming an internet marketer, you're learning skills about internet marketing. Why would we run classified newspaper ads? Well, first off, they can become instant targeted traffic. You can run ads in newspapers in classified sections specifically under the headline. So, for instance, what we want to talk about and focus on for this video is that you want to market your work from home affiliate link with the system. Okay, you can run it in the help wanted section or business opportunities or extra income opportunities or work from home opportunity sections of some newspapers, but most of them will be under general help wanted. It can be very targeted. The second most important thing that you got to understand is that this is a scalable marketing concept. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you're doing some of the free methods that are being taught in the system, you're basically restricted based on how much time you could spend running those ads, right? So if you're doing online classified yourself manually, you're only restricted to how much time you can put in a personal day. Same thing with most of the Facebook type ads, social media type marketing, and those kind of things. You have to do them and have to continuously keep doing them over again. Whereas this is unlimited because of time and the volume that you can actually spread yourself out into. In fact, there's over 4,000 plus newspapers in North America alone, including Canada and the United States. That doesn't include the United Kingdom, Australia, or New Zealand. Okay? So, and the third reason, because it works. It absolutely 100% works. The owner of this system and many of the top affiliates with this system use either exclusively classified newspaper ads to make their commissions with the work from home affiliate link, or they do a portion of their marketing mix using classified newspaper ads. Okay, so those three compelling reasons is why you should pay attention for the rest of this video. In fact, by just using this marketing method alone, you could absolutely make a six-figure monthly income just with newspaper classified ads and your work from home affiliate link that converts tremendously well in this vertical. So, how are you going to be successful running classified newspaper ads? Now, it's easy to think just go big, right? But I want you to pay attention and understand the concept behind going small first. Is really, really important for you to do this. I know it's tempting to do it and just say, hey, I know big, huge newspapers and I can blanket the country with one ad and one phone call or one click of the mouse. But I don't want you to do that. Here's why. Because you need to find a winning ad first. You need to find the winning newspapers to be able to run that ad, and you can make an absolute fortune. So start small. Okay? And when I mean small, I'm talking about your local community newspapers. You know, the one that you might just get on a Wednesday evening that's free, delivered to your door, or on a Sunday. Those are small community newspapers that you can pick them up at the newsstands in your local communities, at the drugstore, those kind of things, or they get delivered free to your home. Okay? You can pick them up at the library, things like that. They're free, usually. Community newspapers I'm talking about. Those are great ones to start small in, to test it out. Or you can expand if you're not in one of those kind of communities, or you can get a hold of one of those. You can run in small city daily newspapers, okay, for quick, fast results. Now, when I say small city dailies, I'm not talking about Sacramento, California. Okay, if you live in New York and you think Sacramento is a small city, well, it is compared to New York City, but it's still a large city. I'm talking about where circulations are between maybe 1,000 and 10,000 people at the most, okay, on the circulation. I'm talking about little cities like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people living in those cities. That's it. A lot of those cities have daily newspapers. And the reason that you want to start in a small community newspaper or a small daily, two reasons. One, it's very inexpensive to do that generally. And two, because those papers generally get read more and there's less competing ads inside those papers. Okay? So when you look at, for instance, the classified section of a New York Times or the paper in Sacramento or Toronto Star or something big like that, there's so many ads in there. Very few people anymore spend time, and the ones that are spending time, they're browsing really quickly. But the small community newspapers and the small city daily papers, they're really, really looked at because it's a there's not as many ads in them, and more likely that the people in those communities are paying more attention to what's actually going on locally than they are nationally. Okay? So keep that in mind. The second thing that you want to consider when you want to have success in classified newspaper ads is that you want to test two things primarily: the headlines and the ad body copy. Okay, and you got to test them two separate times. So every time that you test a new community newspaper, okay, or a small newspaper, you're testing that, but then you're also testing the headline. Okay, and the headline is the first 2 to 3, if they're small words, at the beginning of the ad that catches someone's attention, and they're usually capitalized and bolded. Okay, and you want to, because that's the first thing that's going to catch somebody's attention, not the body copy. Okay, the headline is the most important thing you want to test. So if you go out there and test an ad and it costs you a few bucks and you don't do so well, don't give up. That's why I'm telling you to test small and scale big. Okay, because you want to test the headline. So you're testing newspapers, and also you're testing headlines. So let's say you got a great newspaper, but the headline sucks. It's not going to be successful. Let's say you got a great headline, but the newspaper sucks. You have to test them out and really monitor this. But I'm going to show you something that'll blow your mind if you take the time to do that. Remember, running classified ads in newspapers is really simple, but it can be a little cumbersome on the testing phase because, but it's well worth it, folks. It may take you 3, 4, 5 ads for you to be able to find a winning ad between the combination of the paper and the headlines and the body copy. Okay, but once you find a winner, you can do the next thing that will make you uber successful, and that is scale up once you have a winning ad. So once you found a newspaper that works, and I'll show you in a second what you're going to measure that on, and once you have a good headline that's actually getting you clicks and views to your affiliate link and conversions, then you're going to want to scale up that winning ad. Now, again, once you do that, you don't want to change anything, because once you've got a profitable one, you're going to run it in as many papers as you possibly can and scale it up. Okay, let's talk about testing and scaling up, because this is where it gets exciting and big. Okay, now again, you're an entrepreneur, and this is a paid method of advertising. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is do a small test. Now, this is an actual test. These are the actual test results that I did about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Okay, now I didn't do a 1-day test. I do a 3-day test, and this was in a small newspaper. I think there was, I don't know, somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 readership every day. Like 5,000 and 7,000 newspapers are circulated daily in this newspaper, and it cost me $27.41. Okay, and the reason I want to do a 3-day test is because it's a little bit of a discount. But I also want to, more importantly than the discount, because we're not looking to make money on our first ad necessarily. Okay, I know that freaks a lot of you guys out that aren't entrepreneurs, but if you're going to want to be able to make a killing doing this and only using newspaper classifieds, listen to what I have to say. So I run that ad. I want to run it for 3 days because I want to make sure it's not a fluke on one day or a bad day of newsprint or something like that, so that there's 3 days I get a good fair test of that daily newspaper. Now again, you can do this test on a community newspaper where it only comes out once a week as well. Okay, so you're looking for some action. Okay, and that's basically what I'm trying to do in 3 days. So what I got was one conversion at, of course, the $30 that we get with our work from home affiliate links, right? So I got one. Now that doesn't sound so exciting, right? I spent $27.41. I made $30. Now that is a profit, so I didn't lose. That's good. And now that in itself right there is a winning ad. Now the reason I say that, for 2 reasons. One, because remember, your autoresponder is going to have all those other leads and prospects and subscribers in it that didn't convert. Okay, and you can turn those into money by sending them other offers through your autoresponder, and more information on that, referred to other training in the system. But you can make more money off of that. So I made $2.59 in 3 days. I know you're not you're falling out of your chair yet, are you? Okay, don't worry about it. The power of scaling things up and understanding what I'm about to teach you on this video will knock you on your seat and probably right out the door. Okay? Now this is what we do when we have a winning ad. Remember, anything that's profitable is winning. So even at $2.59, I'm going to show you how to make tens of thousands of dollars a month in profit from. Okay? Now, $45.77 is the full week run of that same newspaper. Now, I'm not changing newspapers. I'm going back in that same newspaper, but I'm getting a discount now of over 15%. Now, each newspaper is going to vary. Sometimes they'll only give you 10%. Sometimes they'll give you as much as 25 or 35%. I know some of the community newspapers, when you get a winning ad on 1 week and you run it for a whole month, they're going to knock off more than 50% of the ad price. I know that sounds crazy, but they do. Okay? And that's how you become major profitable. So for the run for the full week is $45.77, and I got a 15% discount on that same newspaper. Okay? Now, because I ran it for a full week the next time, same ad. I used the same headline, same body copy, same website it was going to, my domain forwarded to my work from home affiliate link, just like you can do. I got 3 conversions. Okay, so it actually averaged out a little bit better. And the more frequent that the ad shows in the paper, the more frequency you're going to get. Okay, so don't think run it once and then everybody's seen it. That's not true. I've run classified ads in newspapers for years. The exact same ad in the exact same papers for years. And so have others. Okay, so I made a $90 profit now. That's pretty cool, right? So I ran it for a whole week. It really took me 5 minutes to run that ad. The second ad actually less because I didn't have to set up an account with the company. $90 and minus my cost of $45.77, I made a profit in the week in one newspaper, in one tiny city daily newspaper, of $44.23. Now, that's still probably not knocking you out of your chair, is it? Okay, but you're making progress. Now, what do you do to make this absolutely astronomical? Well, like I said before, there's over 4,000 newspapers. Now that you got a winning ad and a profitable ad, you want to scale that up. You want to run it in similar papers like that and others to test them in 5 papers. So now, for 5 papers at $44.23 in a week for profit, that's $221.50 in a week in profits. That's over $800 a month. Go in 10 papers. What would you make? Almost $500 a week, folks. 25 papers. It's as simple as that. It's basically you having mini franchises and running them anywhere you want in the world. Once you've tested and found any kind of profit from a newspaper, you can scale that up and make any kind of profits every single week that you can put in your pocket. And then you simply scale it up. Now imagine you getting up to 100 newspapers that are similar to that one and making over $4,000 a week. Now you might think, is that real? You said there's 4,000 newspapers. Could I run in 300, 400, 500, 600 papers? Absolutely, but don't start there. I know there's tempting because some of the resources and the directories we give you below as places you can run them. You can run them in blanket classifieds for a couple $100, and that seems great. But you need to test the ad first, and you need to test a paper. You need to know it works. Once you know it works, then you can scale up. Then you can use the statewide classifieds. And then you can run in Thrifty Nickels across the nation. And then you can go in 50. And sometimes I've even had people say to me, you know what? It takes a long time to run 50 ads in 50 newspapers. But if all you had to do, once you had a winning ad, was set up an account which takes 5 to 10 minutes in each one of these newspapers. On the first time, it takes a little bit longer because you got to give them your address and everything. The second ad, you're just renewing it. You're saying, yep, go ahead, run it again. And imagine what it takes you to do that. And you made over $2,000 a week in pure profit every single week. And all you did was set up that ad and ran it in numerous different newspapers across the country and across North America and even into the UK and Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so is it possible that actually works? Absolutely. How do I know? Because I've done it. The owner of this system does it. And many of the top affiliates marketing this work from home affiliate link do this through newspapers. Okay, now you're probably wondering, will it get saturated? Because you have a negative mindset. Okay, there is no saturation. because everybody's going to be unique and create new winning ads. And the ads are responded to by different people all over the place. And there's over 4,000 newspapers. Okay? So if you want to be skeptical, if you want to come up with every excuse in the book that this doesn't work, what I just showed you here, then don't run any classified ads. Okay? Don't run newspaper ads. Go and use another method. But for those of you that really want to be able to scale things up and make profits predictably every single week, take this information and go out there and do it in over 4,000 newspapers. Okay? Now, is this real work? Well, I'm gonna share a small video from you where the creator of this system and the owner and people that run these systems have actually got the information and tested it out over 10 years ago. And I want to show you a clip from that guy's infomercial. It might look a little familiar. Then I'll come back and wrap things up for you.
The second way to make money that I stumbled onto was placing tiny classified ads in the newspaper. If you create and test one tiny classified ad in the newspaper that makes just $30 to $40 profit in a week, it could make you a fortune. Because the secret is learning how to take that one tiny classified ad that just made $30 to $40 profit in a week, and to realize that you could now take that same exact ad and place it in up to 3,000 other newspapers around the country. That's what I did. I found tiny classified ads that made $30 to $40 profit in a week, and I placed those ads in around 1,000 other newspapers around the country. That's how I generated over $50,000 a week out of my one-bedroom apartment. And in my Making Money package, I'll show you some secrets about placing ads that's going to make you wish you started doing this 5 years ago. And there are millions of different types of ads that you can create. I've been talking about doing this for the last 5 years, and I'm still placing classified ads in newspapers all over the country every day of the week. I've been doing this for the last 5 years, and I'm still making millions of dollars doing exactly what I'm talking about. And now there are people that got my Making Money package, and they started placing tiny classified ads in the newspapers just like I did. Was it half as easy as I said it was going to be?
It's unbelievable. The first time the checks were in the mailbox, I could not believe it.
Just by ordering the Making Money package, by placing one tiny ad after another, you have generated over $200,000 in 5 months.
It don't even sound right.
Does it?
As you can see, Don's pretty excited, and I'm pretty excited. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen that infomercial before, but it ran for over 10 years on national television across the country. And that individual made hundreds of millions of dollars running them. Not only that, but myself and other people that have run classified ads using that course that he taught there, that we've simplified here for you. The one thing that they don't share there is what he actually was selling. Here, you actually have what already is going to convert high for you. You just need to test and scale up through those newspapers. Hopefully that made it real for you, and understand that it's worth testing and even losing a couple times on ads. You won't lose big, but you'll lose a little bit, and that's why I say start small and go big. Okay, so let's do a quick recap so that you understand how to get started. Well, you're going to want to start small. Okay, again, local community newspapers or small city daily papers to test. That's all you're doing. You're not trying to make a profit. You're just testing to see if there's any life and to see if there's any reality of profits. And don't just stop with one ad or one newspaper. Continue to test it in different places. And even if you can only afford to do that once a week, do it, because it's well worth it once you get a winning ad. Okay? Test the headlines and the ad body copy. If you're getting more clicks and more opt-ins from a certain headline, continue to run that one. If you're not getting anything, change the newspaper. Run the same ad in a different newspaper to see if it was just the paper. Okay? And then once you have a winning ad, scale up. Scale up to 10 newspapers. Scale up to citywide newspapers. Scale up to the community newspapers. Scale up to more dailies. Scale up until you hit the income goal that you want to have, whether that's $500 a week in profits, whether that's $5,000 a week in profits. That's entirely up to you and is truly unique. So What is the only thing that will be a guarantee in running classified newspaper ads and paying for advertising to do that? Is you not doing it. Okay? For those of you that are willing to get started and test small and just lose a little bit, that's what business is about. Is testing things, making sure that they work. And I've showed you the most realistic way on this video how to do that with newspaper classified ads. In fact, many of the top affiliates using this system only run tiny newspaper classified ads. Why? Because they can scale it up. They don't need to be overwhelmed with 500 different ways to market online or spending all their days copying and pasting all over the internet. When they can run tiny classified ads, testing them out, even if it took them a month of testing before they found the winning ad, now the fun begins because they can scale it up to over 4,000 newspapers. Now, I've given you a whole bunch of information on this video, but there's more information in the text below. There's some sample ads to get started with, but I do encourage you to be creative with your ads, okay? Be creative, test new headlines, use some samples, get an idea of what you're running there. From the examples we give you, the work from home affiliate link works the best in the help wanted sections of newspapers. Okay? If you can't get in the help wanted section, then run it in the BizOp, but it's best in the help wanted section when you can get it in there. Okay? Use a forwarded domain because you want to make it look professional. Make the domain as short as possible because you'll save space and cost running the ads. A big long ad in a newspaper doesn't look so great. A small ad, maybe 10 to maybe at the most 18 characters long, is the best to running classified newspapers. And you can scale yourself up and make as much profit as you possibly want in a week. We've also provided you with some resources below, so directories and things like that you can scale up to whatever level you want. But remember, start small, test, make it profitable, and then scale up the rest of the way. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully you'll take this information and go out and do some tests and see that classified newspaper ads are the easiest way and the simplest way to get traffic to your website.